Fight, fight, fight. Here we are, 104 on the East Coast. It is April 24th, 2019. And just really quick, want to bring in my partner in justice at Shady Grooove with 3 O's on Twitter. Shady, welcome to our show. Welcome, Shady.
Hello, Matrixxx and everyone, Patriots around the world. How are you today?
Wow, I mean, I'm doing fantastic. I'm a pretty good-looking guy. It's a pretty good-looking day. Just having a pretty good-looking time here with all those pretty good-looking Patriots out there in the YouTube chat and soon to be out there in the Periscope chat. Welcome, guys, to the Matrixxx Groove Hour. We really appreciate everything you've done. And Shady, but let's just get this out of the way. We've got a sponsor today. It is the Patriot Flashlight. And let's just go ahead and play that commercial. Hang on one second. Here we go. So that is the Patriot Flashlight. There it is.
You like the Patriot Flashlight? Good job. Speak. Speak.
That's Neo on the right, Trinity on the left. And guess what? They only like red dog biscuits because all they want is the truth, nothing more. And
the red dog biscuits are where they get the truth?
That's it.
All right.
So that is the Patriot Flashlight. Please head out to Patriot Flashlight. The link is below in our video here. That is today's sponsor. Enter discount code ITM20. That's ITM, like in the Matrix, 20 for 20% off. And this flashlight is amazing. As you saw in that video, I ran it over with the car, and it worked. Nothing happened to it. It is an amazing flashlight. It's solid. It's super bright. It's got a solar USB charge. It can power your phone. It can cut the seat belts. It can break the window in case you, God forbid, fall into, like a, where water is, that happens a lot down here in Florida, so I think that's amazing. It's got a detachable compass. It's got a personal safety alarm. It's got an LED light bar and the LED hammer. It's a powerful, powerful flashlight. It's got a strobe light. It's got 100% power, 50% power, and it illuminates my dogs in the middle of the night. You couldn't see them, and there you could. And here's the functions that it's got. It's got the emergency lights if you're on the side of the road. It's unlimited charging because you can it's got the micro USB. You can charge your phone. I've tried that. It works perfectly. And it will also recharge in solar. That alarm is pretty loud. I didn't show it here, but it is very loud. There it is with the power bank. And it's amazing. It'll cut your seatbelt. It'll break that window, and it's got the compass. So it's pretty big. It's 8.37 inches and 2.75 inches, thick, if you will. But it's amazing. Customer satisfaction, 100% guaranteed. Patriot Flashlight. I'd like to thank Jared out there for the kind words. He said that was one of the best commercials that they've seen so far. So thank you very much. And I got guys, if you guys get that personal flashlight, it helps them continue with us. So that's it, Shady. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you, Patriot Flashlight. You there?
I am here, Matrix, and we are. I was on the mute. Sorry.
No problem. I hate that mute thing. But yeah, so just wanted to, just kind of go over today some things, Shady. I was looking at some of this blockade remove stuff, and I'm actually kind of seeing that the Mueller obviously was the blockade, and the fake investigations, right? The fake investigations by the committee members will not delay what is about to be unleashed. There's an avalanche coming, right? And they're not going to be able to stop what's coming, and I think what we're seeing too is a lot of soft disclosure, as Q kind of has mentioned before, that it has to originate organically, and that's why I think our president is retweeting a lot of Judicial Watch Tom Fenton. And there's been a lot of action between Tom Fenton and our president, because Tom's getting a lot of information that he probably wasn't able to get before. So I'm really thinking that this is our soft disclosure, if you will, Shady, in regards to this D class, right? Little drips.
I absolutely 100% agree with you on that. And Mr. Fenton he's been doing this for a long time and attempting to get information going back before even the Bush administration. And I've kept up with him the whole time, and I've never really seen him with this amount of information coming out all at once. And you can see that this is connected to everything. He's bringing stuff out connected to Ukraine, stuff out connected to Iran, stuff that is connected to the Mueller report, stuff that's connected to the fake news,
uranium everything.
Right, and the collusion with the media, all of these different things. He really is identifying the proper documents that he's going after too, so he's not just like spraying machine gun fire. He knows it's like he knows where to go, kind of a little bit like what we saw with John Solomon and Sarah Carter, right? They kind of just sort of know where to look almost.
Right. We got some really good comments out there. Wada Big says Tom Fenton is the stealth bomber. Wow, could very well be. Cisco Lady Liberty says Tom Fenton is the digger of justice. And
yes, he is.
I definitely believe in that. It's amazing. So let's go ahead and just pop over real quick to our President of the United States. So he has been tweeting out a lot of Tom Fenton stuff.
Yes, he has, man. This is amazing.
All right, so this was April 19th. Coup update. Mueller report vindicates at real Donald Trump. As we know, no collusion. We've played that song a couple times. We love it. Against Trump. So the Judicial Watch has lawsuits on the FBI Clinton collusion against Trump, FBI payments to steal, and Kerry's collusion with Iran. And that is supporting our MAGA movement over in Iran. Those people want to be free just like we do. Also, Shady, I want to give a shout out to our German Anons. Shout out, hello to Deutschland Q Army. That's the best I could do. Thank you guys very much for your support out there. We've got people of Iran with the MAGA restart movement out there. We've got people from let's see, where we got Australia. We've got people from all over the world. We've got Kiwi out there from New Zealand. We've got a lot of stuff, and we've been talking and looking at all this stuff, and everything is happening as Q has pointed out. So we may not talk much about Q, but if you look in the show, but I do want to just say this is the blockade, and I'm going to drop all the Q posts that say blockade. And I'm going to copy those there, and I'm going to post those in there for you guys. It's very interesting to kind of just go ahead and look back. I red-pilled my friend from Germany. Trauma Mama 3, way to go. You get 10 red pills for that one on a scale of 1 to 10. So no blockade equals game over. They knowingly committed sedition and treason and sedition. Knowingly, and that's the key word. Without a blockade or a shield, they are left vulnerable and exposed. If this was merely a LARP asking questions on the chans, why are we being attacked daily by some of the world's biggest media companies, social media companies, deliberately applying censorship and banning, shills paid and inserted to disrupt media matters, blue checkmark coordinated attacks, etc., all for a conspiracy on the chans, all for a LARP? Why is there a constant flow of disinformation being pushed regarding Q? Example, disinformation push regarding Mueller is a white hat. False, fake, and false narrative. Think blockade. When you can't attack the information directly, you attack the source. If that fails, you create false, misleading information to discredit knowingly select unaware followers. Would not take time to self-corroborate the claims. Same vehicles, tactics used by the fake news media. Logical thinking, guys. Logical thinking always wins. Nothing can stop what is coming. As the targets turn to the other side, the attacks will intensify. We have the source, Q, and the attacks personally on people in this movement have intensified. They're showing themselves. They're saying that they're MAGA and they're Keep America Great Again TV, and they show pictures of me, and guys, it's amazing. It's a badge of honor, and I thank you guys for pointing me out, and hopefully people will see through the anti-Q people. Just know I'm 100% MAGA. I voted for real Donald Trump, and I'll vote for real Donald Trump again, and I'll vote for anybody that is a MAGA candidate. So with that, thank you guys. I appreciate the attention.
Yeah, very, very important, huh?
Yeah, I mean, my God, They got me with it. I went to the polling booth with my Q Army T-shirt on, and I think that's awesome. I thought it was great. Going to make my vote with my Q Army shirt. Heck yeah, I'll tell you that right now. So this is this is a good thing, man. So right now, we kind of did update you guys on, what if the Mueller report shows that Alex Jones and his companies are tied to foreign intel and foreign entities. So these are people that support that group. Somebody says, forgive Alex Jones. I will not, because he's going to be, the Mueller report is what he's afraid of, guys. The Mueller report will show that he is not who we thought he was. I'll give him credit for helping me in my awakening, but if he is bad and he's a disinfo agent, I'm telling you guys, he's no longer my friend, and I'm sorry. And I think a lot of these attacks are coming from him. So thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. All right. So with that being said, what occurs post installed blockade removal? D-class. That's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of the OIG release findings. They're afraid of all this stuff. So let's go back over here to Tom Fenton and just kind of take a look at this. This is Tom Fenton's investigation. The Mueller investigation failed to find any evidence to support the big lie that the Trump campaign colluded with Russia, and it failed miserably. And it's done. I mean, it's done, right? This is Donald J. Trump retweeting Tom Fenton again on April 22nd. President at Real Donald Trump should file a criminal complaint with the DOJ over illicit targeting at Judicial Watch. And this is when Tom Fenton appeared on A Justice with Judge Janine, to discuss the purpose of the Mueller report. So this guy has been on top of it. So Donald Trump wants us to take a look at this. It's 3 minutes long. Let's just go ahead and listen.
No collusion, but like I said in my opening statement tonight, we cannot all just move on. Those that orchestrated the hoax need to be brought to justice. So what's next? Let's ask Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton, who joins me now. All right, Tom, one of the things that concerns me as I look back on all this, and, it's going to take a while to really get to the point where, it is a given. There was nothing there. There was no obstruction. There was no collusion. All this was a craziness for nothing. But you had some people, the head of the FBI, James Comey, the deputy director of the FBI, Andrew McCabe, and then Peter Strzok, the head of counterintelligence, or deputy head of counterintelligence, Loretta Lynch, AG. And then you had Clapper and Brennan. I got a bone to pick with both of them. First of all, you've got Clapper. This is a guy who basically is saying that what happened, if there wasn't actual collusion proven, there was passive collusion. What the hell is he talking about?
Oh, well, they're trying desperately to hold on to and
it's passive collusion.
Up,
I don't know.
Hoax. And it was a knowing lie, in my view. They all knew there was never Russia collusion, and they concocted pretextual intelligence reports, working also with the Clinton campaign and as part of that, to go after President Trump with an illicit and unprecedented spying campaign. You know, it's not just a DOJ FBI scandal, Judge. As you point out, the CIA, the NSA, the Office of Director of National Intelligence,
DNI,
and the State Department were all part of this. It was all hands on deck going after then-candidate Trump, and then it continued and morphed into the corruptly formed Mueller investigation. And, you know, as you and I discussed, I think the last time I was on this program, there should never have been a Mueller report. As far as I'm concerned, this monstrous report is just another abuse of power by the Mueller special counsel operation, designed to defame and politically hamper the president as opposed to shed light on anything substantial.
You know, and because we're short of time, I only have one more question. But when you've got people like Brennan saying that the head of the DNI, the president's actions at certain points are treasonous, and then, you know, they continue to do this, there has to be an investigation. Do you think, I mean, do you agree with me, that we have to put an end to this kind of thing from happening, that when people lie to Congress, when people, you know, present false documents that they know are unverified to courts, there's got to be criminal accountability?
You know, if I were the president, I'd walk over to the Washington headquarters, Washington field office of the FBI and lodge a criminal complaint. I mean, it's that bad. He is a crime victim, Judge, and Peter Strzok and people like that who abused their office to target him for political purposes. They victimized him and many others, and there's got to be criminal accountability there.
Tom Fitton, great idea.
Accountability, and it's Tom Fitton. Okay, sorry, I misspelled it or said it wrong the other day or just a minute ago. I got called out in chat for that, Shady. I'm sorry.
You messed that all up.
Oh my gosh! Let's restart the show.
All right.
Look,
no, this is huge, man. I mean,
huge.
this is really huge, and you guys are actually you're seeing it happen right in front of you. The blockade being removed, the Mueller investigation, the blockade being that no one can talk about ongoing investigations. Mr. Kushner came out yesterday and was speaking for one of the first times. We're 2 years into a presidency, and he can't speak because no matter what he says, they're going to attempt to use it to incriminate him, and that's how they've shut everyone down. And now you're starting to see a conversation begin, I think, spearheaded by the president here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got here on the Daily Caller, the president retweeted this: Bob Woodward, FBI and CIA handling of Steele dossier needs to be investigated.
Yeah, when did he pivot?
Right?
Did you notice that? Like
I did.
A week and a half ago, this guy is, you know, all in for Russia collusion. He's one of the biggest CIA clown hacks out there. and now all of a sudden he's pivoting with Cher.
And that's amazing too, the Cher stuff, isn't it?
I know. It's weird, but it's happening. This is multiple times now that she has now she's in support of the veterans.
Absolutely, and support of, you know, why we can't have all these people coming in. Here's one too that Donald Trump retweeted: the coup update. This was April 22nd, and you know that was a couple days ago. What day is it today? Yeah, 24th. Coup update: who needs to be investigated on Spygate and other abuses of targeting real Donald Trump? Partial list: Obama, Biden, Susan Rice, Hillary Clinton, DNC, Brennan, Clapper, Comey, McCabe, Lynch, Page, Strzok, Yates. Wow. And those are a lot of the pictures that we saw the other day that Q dropped. Remember, there was, I believe, 7 or 8 of them that he dropped. And I believe Brennan was one of them.
But
Clapper,
that list right there sure
McCabe.
Would lead to most of everything we know.
Absolutely. And this is Q. These are basically all Q proofs. It's hard to keep up with them all, guys, I know. And that's Tom Fitton. Let's just quickly just hear a little bit of it.
As I said, President Trump's been vindicated. The Mueller investigation failed to find any evidence to support the big lie that the Trump campaign colluded with the Russians, and it failed miserably to prove any obstruction. It's all just gossip suggesting the president was doing something wrong. It was an attack on the president for exercising his powers as president. The Justice Department and at least the Mueller operation suggests that every hiring and firing decision by the president can be subject to Justice Department review. They've placed themselves above the President of the United States. I've told you before, it's King Mueller at the Justice Department.
This guy's absolutely amazing, and I've been following him for, you know, over a year, and he's just truth teller. What a great, he's doing a great service to us, and he is.
Yes, he is.
He
and
is
there's not
organic.
a lot of people out there.
Right, and this is organic. I mean, he takes donations to do what he's doing. He's exposing so much. And here's another one that our president tweeted. It's the coup. Donald Trump was right. Mueller witch hunt is part of Spygate abuse begun by Obama, the DOJ, FBI working with Hillary Clinton and the DNC to illegally target our president to be, right? This is before he was president. Mueller report designed to provide grist for fraudulent impeachment. Now, I like that designed to, because if I go right click and use my Q post search, I can go find all designed to. I'm going to go look for designed to. Remember the designed to? That was actually a Q. Let me find it. It's down here somewhere. We're going to look for designed to. Mueller was designed to. Do you guys remember that? I'm going to probably have way too many. Maybe I should just do it to designed. Hang on one second. Let me do that one more time. Let me just do designed, because that will actually. This is how we dig, guys. Right click Q post search. And if you guys want this in your browser, we've got it for Firefox and Chrome, and we've got another one coming for Opera. This is completely open source. The link is below in this video if you want to use this feature. Did you see how easy that was, guys? Did you see how easy that was? So I'm going to go look at the design too. We probably have a lot less to look through, so bear with me one second, Shady, while I'm looking at it. All right, here we go.
Yeah, no problem. I think you'll find it right.
It's right here.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
All right, so keep your eye on the ball. And this is Q Post 2397 on 11/3/2018. Keep your eye on the ball. Midterms and memes. Killbox. Remember, POTUS already ordered the D-Class. RR pushed back hard. OIG tasked to review, determine sensitive information. OIG works with Huber, important to remember. Huber reportedly directly 2 sessions, important to remember. That's who he reports to. Was the D-Class already cleared for release? Was the gambit played by RR to stall and delay post-election banking on D's winning the House in the kill box? POTUS Air Force One, RR, an enemy who feels safe and in control is an enemy who speaks, right? Probably talks and says stuff, right? POTUS Air Force One.
That's too much.
RR is the Mueller end. Important to remember in Killbox. How do you navigate around an installed blockade? Mueller. Designed to take in evidence needed to expose deep state. DOJ block regarding Mueller evidence ongoing investigation. Mueller. Designed to limit POTUS ability to maneuver. Mueller. Designed to stall for time until midterm elections to terminate all House Senate ongoing investigations. Mueller. Designed to safeguard D-Party base. False narrative. Russia collusion. POTUS cheated. Evil. Sky falling. In an effort to divide and mobilize for future protests, riots, threats, violence, false flags, etc. Mueller. Designed to provide fake news with ammunition to sway public opinion, obstruct foreign and domestic agenda, fuel impeachment, removal, fuel anti-POTUS division, prevent unity, etc. Mueller. Designed to demonstrate to foreign players that old guard still pulls the strings. Mueller. Designed to mobilize the D-Party for midterm vote win. Mueller. Designed to push D-Party backers to donate GoFundMe to D-Party. Mueller. Designed as a public outcry excuse should criminal charges be brought against them. We are being politically attacked because Mueller. How do you remove installed blockade? D-Class, D-Class, D-Class. How do you navigate around an installed corrupt FBI DOJ? Use a stealth bomber. Vote, vote, vote. Q. That's an amazing post right there. So that's kind of what you do. Like, another way to easily dig. I'm going to drop those design to posts for you guys. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's maybe if you'll step down, Matrixxx, and there's another post here I want to read to you guys real quick that kind of goes backwards a little bit. Pull up number 118 real quick, if you would. All right. What family was permitted to leave immediately after 9/11? You guys all know who that was, the bin Laden family.
Yes.
Who authorized the departure, and why is this relevant? Okay, who authorized the departure would be Robert Mueller. And why is this relevant is because of a lot of what you're seeing where we're talking about the blockade, and whenever you have people at the top that make sure things don't keep moving. Repeat, was anyone else permitted to leave? Was it a private plane? What can private planes carry versus commercial? What airport did they arrive and depart from? What was carried on a private plane to Iran? And why was the bin Laden family here during 9/11? Coincidence? How does SA, Saudi Arabia, connect to the bin Laden family? Who is SA? Who in SA is connected specifically to the bin Laden family? What did they deliver? To who? Why? What does money buy? Why are the events in Saudi Arabia relevant to the above? Who is the financial backer for human trafficking? Who is the broker for underage sex? Think SA. How does Facebook and Instagram play a role in capture? Think Taken, fantasy, right? Why do select senior political officials have foundations and institutes? What is money laundering? What does money buy? Why is this relevant? What other people were arrested in Saudi Arabia? What are their backgrounds? Are any connected to the Podesta group? Why is this relevant? What do you need in order to prosecute senior political officials? How do you avoid public misconception? How do you justify counter political attacks to the mass public? Why is information so vital? Is the country divided? Why does the mainstream media portray the country as being divided? Why is this relevant? Q. And I just wanted to pull that one in because that connects us back to Mueller, and it connects us back to the blockade that was at the top senior levels of the DOJ and the FBI for umpteen years, that covers the span of things like 9/11 and the overarching center for the child trafficking hub that used to stem from Saudi Arabia. So all of these things are relevant to the reason that no one ever gets anywhere on investigations, and reasons that people like Tom Fenton never get any information about the stuff that we really want information about. We all want the information about 9/11, but none of us ever get it. Why is that? Who has been in charge? Who has been there this whole time? And now you're seeing Mueller designed too. Who did they know they could trust with the mission, guys? Just saying.
That's amazing.
Whenever you kind of connect, and this is, I meant to mention, sorry, that this is 11/6/17.
Right. And I already
Q
moved
post
on from
118.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, Q post very, 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 very early. I'm sorry, I got, I'm sorry, hang on one second. All right, I had something else playing in the background, my bad. So that's amazing. Thank you for pointing that out, because we know Mueller was involved with that 9/11 stuff, correct?
Yes, he was the one that authorized bin Laden's family to leave.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Wow.
So Mueller, you know, remember the Q post where it says Mueller's working to save himself. You know, we really need to keep our minds open about what's going on and how the setup is working. Remember, this is we're if you're in a counterintelligence investigation, you're in a spy game, and everyone's spying on everyone.
Right, absolutely, and keeping your enemies close, and you know, and all that kind of stuff. We were kind of having a little conversation about that, weren't we?
Yep, and it's pretty relevant because of all of the stuff that's happening. You know, that's emulating our real world with the people who are involved with Q and the people that are attacking the folks that are trying to get information out. Look, I mean, you just saw the post that I read you. Was there anything cultish about that post? Look, this is not relevant to cults and making people believe things. These are facts these are questions that are being asked of anons who went and dug on this stuff and then brought all the information back to the threads.
Right.
That is, you know, that is the most egregious act you could commit, because they sure don't seem to be in opposition to the border or the mass human trafficking or, you know, the crazies out there trying to take my electoral college and let 15-year-olds vote, but not let them own guns ever.
Right.
And you have the right to vote, but not the right to own a gun.
And so we're seeing the D's, they need to win at any cost, and we're witnessing a lot of things that are illegal. They want illegals in. They want the illegals to vote. They want the illegals to change our electoral college votes. They want to change the voting age from 18 to 16. They want prisoners to vote, and they want Trump out of 18 states.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
And look how it would topple. Look, there was, just let's say, okay, this crazy guy Bernie Sanders comes out there yesterday. He said, I think that people that are in prison for murdering people should still have the right to vote. Okay, well, that's off the chain. But in reality, we have federal penitentiaries in different jurisdictions around the country. There's some jurisdictions where there might be a federal penitentiary holding 3,000 or 4,000 people in a town where there's 3,000 or 4,000 people.
Right.
So
right.
What would you do in that district if you gave everyone in the prison the opportunity? You'd be able to change the whole landscape of the voting block of the people who are outside the prison. You'd have more power almost, because you'd be voting in unity. So you could, look at this manipulation attempt by, they control the big prisons, so they're going to manipulate the vote that comes out of the prisons. That's
right. They're going to try to manipulate everything. We got this proposal to keep Trump off the Connecticut ballot in 2020, right? So they're joining 18 states with a proposal to mandate that anyone running for president has to disclose their federal tax returns in order for that person to appear on the state ballot in Connecticut. So they're going to each states to try to change the rules so they can win. They're also doing something very nefarious here as well. Shady, have you seen this? The DNC pledges not to use hacked materials and presses the RNC to do the same. Why do they want that to happen, Shady?
Wow, that's an odd preliminary news piece.
Yeah, because they say we're not going to use what we have against you. So here we go. The head of the DNC pledged the committee would not use hacked emails or stolen data for political gain ahead of the 2020 presidential election, and pressed his RNC counterpart to make the same commitment. Quote, as the Mueller report just confirmed, a foreign adversary hacked and disseminated stolen information with the intention of disrupting our free and fair elections, end quote. Chairman Tom Perez wrote on Monday in an open letter to his Republican counterpart, Ronna McDaniel. He urged McDaniel not to engage in the weaponization of stolen private data in our electoral process. The appeal came after a day after the president, Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Rudolph Giuliani, said it was okay for campaigns to accept information from Russia. There is nothing wrong with taking information from Russians, Giuliani said Sunday during the interview on CNN State of the Union. Giuliani later added that he probably wouldn't have taken such information. I wasn't asked, he said. I would have advised just excess caution, don't do it. But, when we're going back through this through Tom Fitton here, and I'll say it right, I'm sorry if I missaid it earlier, guys, we are looking down at that they actually found the Bill Priestap, right? Is that right, Shady? Bill Priestap?
Yeah.
Let me go to Tom Fitton here real quick. T-O-M, here he is. Because there's some new tweets that, kind of go into this as well. Look at this, an hour ago, 98,000 illegal immigrants graduating from U.S. high school. That's a 50% jump. Okay, here's Giuliani knocks Clinton-Trump indictment claims and says the DOJ policy of you cannot indict a Clinton will change. Okay, very amazing. It was never about Russia. The targeting of Donald Trump served to protect Hillary Clinton and her enablers and co-conspirators in Obama administration from prosecution. And this is just a sample of that video. Here's the flashback. We're going to find out that the FBI and DOJ were ruined trying to protect Hillary Clinton. Also, I want to let you know, too, that I just got what I was watching real quick is this. Let me just double check this. This is Giuliani today. It's probably going to have an ad because Fox News, they're Patriots. Hang on one second. Here we go. Let's listen to this.
Attorney and former mayor of New York City. Rudy,
this is talking about the Hillary Clinton speaks out on the Mueller report, right?
I have a hard time reacting to that. I mean, there's a woman who really obstructed justice. The president didn't delete 33,000 emails. He didn't have somebody smash up telephones. and they didn't have someone wipe out a server and bleach bit it, among the few things that she did. The president was innocent of the underlying crime. That's conceded.
Collusion.
Collusion, delusion, right? No collusion. If you're innocent of the underlying crime, then everything they're talking about is an effort for him to defend himself. So if I tell somebody that I'm innocent, please testify on my behalf and say what happened. Am I obstructing justice, or am I defending myself and serving justice? But these demented prosecutors who turn the thing into he has to exonerate himself, never heard that in American law or English law or Roman law or any law. They turned it into, we assume he's guilty. So if he says to somebody, don't cooperate or cooperate, he's saying it because he wants the truth to come out. And what he said was, cooperate, but tell the truth. But they don't buy that it's the truth. To this day, they don't buy there's no collusion. They had 2 investigations to prove it. The FBI counterintelligence investigation, in the words of Peter Strzok, no, they're there. And then this one. How this ever got started in the first place is the next investigation.
Right, but Hillary
and Ms. Clinton better get a lawyer, because
she said that the reason he wasn't indicted is because there's a DOJ standing policy.
There used to be a
president.
DOJ standing policy. You cannot indict a Clinton no matter how much they obstruct justice, no matter how much evidence they destroy,
You see that?
no matter how often they lie, and no matter that they committed perjury. You can't indict a Clinton. It's against the Democrat Justice Department rules. This is not a Democrat Justice Department. It's not a Republican Justice Department. It's the kind of Justice Department I work for. I prosecuted Republicans and Democrats, and I didn't think either one of them had a monopoly on virtue of vice.
So do you think William Barr's...
Right. So I want to point you out here, and this is from J.T. Wild. You know, we're wondering if Mayor Giuliani is our guy. Let's listen in right about here.
She made several false statements, and she had her people destroyed.
Coming up.
Not to mention,
and none of them were indicted.
Ready?
I know.
How about the guy who actually did it? Boom, boom, boom.
What? What did he just say? What did he just say?
He did it. Boom, 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 boom. They weren't indicted. Nobody tried to turn them.
Our guy right there. And that was, in my opinion, that was J.T. Wild that sent that to me. That's why you guys heard that. JT, on the fly. Thank you, sir. What do you think of that?
Well, I tell you something. Our president sure was lucky that Mr. Giuliani came to his counsel. I think that he was paramount in the steps being taken properly. Every single thing they were doing was attempting to usurp justice, and more so than obviously the president knows what he wants to do in legal terms. But Mr. Giuliani has done a pretty good job of explaining to people who are trying to figure out what's going on what the law is and how the law works, as opposed to this conjecture, you know, like they keep saying collusion and, you know, oh, well, maybe he didn't collude, but he obstructed. It's ridiculous. How does he obstruct the investigation into a crime that wasn't committed? You know, let me look how they're confusing people with what the law really means. So he has done an amazing job to disseminate the information to everyone out there about what the president's case was and about how they were trying to trap him. And just to be clear, as Americans, all of us today, Matrixx, you and I, are on the air having a discussion about a counterintelligence investigation by the DOJ, the FBI, the CIA against a political opponent of the Democrats.
Yeah,
that's what, and we've got some nice other information too that's just coming out from Mr. Baker, and we know now that this started way earlier than July. There is evidence now out in the open that this was going on in March before the convention.
Wow.
So it was in there. So this is all predates their narrative, all predates their lies. It's all going against everything that the people at the top, remember we were just talking about the blockade, people at the top were telling us otherwise. Now the truth is starting to come out as you know, there's more testimony being released. Actually, James Baker's testimony was released yesterday, and that was very revealing.
Absolutely. And this is judicialwatch.org. FBI admits Hillary Clinton emails were found in Obama White House.
In the White House.
In the White House, guys.
Go find that story on HuffPo and BuzzFeed.
Yeah, so it also confirms 49,000 Clinton server emails found on Weiner laptop. Okay, so these weren't found via Russian hacking now, people. This is the FBI went in and served a warrant in the executive office of our president.
Yep.
Okay.
And no one is talking about that. Did that leak?
No.
So, you know, the people, for all the people that are the same people that, you know, leaked everything about Papadopoulos and Carter Page and all this other stuff that was inadvertently leaked, they didn't leak that.
Right. So Judicial Watch announced Tuesday that an FBI official admitted in writing under oath that the agency found Clinton email records in the Obama White House, specifically the executive office of the president. The FBI also admitted nearly 49,000 Clinton server emails were reviewed as part of a search warrant for her material on the laptop of Anthony Weiner. E.W. Bill Priestap, Assistant Director of the FBI Counterintelligence Division, made the disclosure to the Judicial Watch as part of our court-ordered discovery into the Clinton email issue. The United States District Court Judge Royce Lamberth ordered Obama administration senior State Department officials, lawyers, and Clinton aides, as well as Priestap, to be deposed or answer writer questions under oath. The court ruled that the Clinton email system was, quote, one of the gravest modern offenses to government transparency, end quote. Priestap was asked by Judicial Watch to identify representatives of Hillary Clinton, her former staff, and government agencies from which, quote, email repositories were obtained, end quote. Priestap responded with the following non-exhaustive list: Brian Pagliano, Cheryl Mills, Executive Office of the President, emphasis was added, Heather Samuelston, Jacob Sullivan, Justin Cooper, United States Department of State, United States Secret Service, Williams and Connolly LLP. Priestap also testifies that 48,982 emails were reviewed as a result of the warrant for Clinton email account information from the laptop of Anthony Weiner, who had been married to top aide Clinton aide Huma Abedin. A complete copy of Priestap's interrogatory responses is available here. Priestap is serving as assistant director to the FBI's Counterintelligence Division and helped oversee both the Clinton email and the 2016 presidential campaign investigations. Priestap testified in a separate lawsuit that Clinton was the subject of a grand jury investigation related to her BlackBerry email accounts. Quote, the astonishing confirmation made under oath by the FBI shows that the Obama FBI had to go to the President Obama's White House office to find the emails that Hillary Clinton tried to destroy or hide from us, the American people, guys, said Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton. No wonder Hillary Clinton has thus far skated. Barack Obama is implicated in her email scheme, guys.
Imagine that.
And that's amazing. And now look at this. Priestap was ordered to answer written questions by the United States District Court Judge Royce C. Lamberth when he ruled in January that Judicial Watch's discovery could begin in the Clinton email scandal. The action came on Judicial Watch July 2014 FOIA lawsuit for copies of any updates or talking points given to Ambassador Rice by the White House or any federal agency concerning, regarded, or relating the September 11th, 2012 attack at the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya. Any and all records, communications concerning, regarding, talking points, updates on Benghazi attack given to Ambassador Rice by the White House or its federal agencies. So they're trying to find out whether Clinton intentionally attempted to evade the Freedom of Information Act by using non-government email system, or whether the State Department's effort to settle this case beginning in 2014 amounted to bad faith, and or whether the State Department adequately searched for records responsive to Judicial Watch's FOIA request. So, wow, guys, just, oh my gosh, Shay.
Dark to light.
Dark to light. I also want to show you this. Tom Fitton, Rep. Schiff, has knowingly, where have we seen that before, guys? Knowingly lied about the Russia collusion. And that was on Lou Dobbs. And
joining
just
us now,
put a little bit of it real quick.
The people in this administration. Your thoughts about how important it is, as the president has framed it, that this never happen again to any president?
Well, it's going to require significant investigations, and as you point out, criminal charges where appropriate to make sure that future government bureaucrats don't decide to engage in coup operations against the elected president or attacking properly the political opponent of the presidential candidate you favor. There's got to be some significant accountability there. But also there's got to be transparency that can be done in the meantime, meaning expose everything that went on. The deep state's hiding behind classifications to keep the key documents secret. The president can take steps there to open the floodgates in terms of transparency. But also we've got to recognize who the bad guys are and don't pretend they're not bad guys. Because there are a lot of public officials, including people like Congressman Schiff, who have knowingly lied for years about Russia collusion.
Knowingly.
And yet they continue to participate in the public policy process with no accountability. And we need to start highlighting that in a more aggressive way. Why is Adam Schiff still chairman of the Intelligence Committee?
That's a great question, right? And here we go. Q post 3316. Knowingly comes out 20 times, guys. All right. This one is very important. This is page 11, previously classified scope RR to Mueller. The scope of the memo highlighted within Mueller report confirms the dossier was the tool used by RR to justify the the special counsel, and was the primary vehicle to which RR asked Mueller if the dossier was known to be unverified and fake, how was the investigation started to begin with? So what we're showing here is that this whole investigation, the whole SC, is based on fake, false info, right? So what point did Mueller determine that there was no collusion? 18 months ago? Was the investigation kept ongoing as a talking point to rig the midterm elections? Was the investigation kept to retain the blockade to essentially restrict POTUS from unmasking and informing the public as to the truth about what really happened? What was the investigation kept ongoing to protect those who knowingly committed treason, sedition? No blockade, game over, Shady.
And that, that goes right back around what we were just discussing. This is the way, this was the plan, this was how they prevent us from talking. They do this to lots and lots of people. I think that with I think that a little bit of the slow roll maybe that we're having right now to the information coming out is because of all of the people who've been prosecuted by the FBI and the DOJ in the last 15 years, 20 years. So let's think about this logically for a second, Matrixxx. And we're talking about, we kind of have these guys in our site. We're talking about Mueller, we're talking about Comey, we're talking about Clapper, but let's really talk about the cases from the last 15 years, whether it's Weissman or Comey or whoever was in the FBI and the DOJ working on these people's cases. I think that a lot of the folks that had good lawyers will be looking to relitigate cases by corrupt officials who get censured and who are tried or who get sentences for perjury, whatever you want to call it.
Treason,
they're going to have
perjury.
Right. They're going to have cases. They're going to be able to bring cases against the federal government for malicious prosecution. People out there who were targeted by the IRS illegitimately by the Obama administration. If you hear me or if you hear this message, you need to be thinking about the corruption here that we're really looking at and how to make remedy in your situation, especially if it was lies by the deep state that prosecuted you and ended up with you put away. I think that this is all a scam. It's been a scam. The only people they're prosecuting are their political enemies. They've been only prosecuting their political enemies for 20 plus years. We see the blockade. The blockade is not just since the president became president. The blockade exists to keep
us.
Right. Lawsuits from vaccines get prevented by the blockade. Lawsuits about poisoning of other products get prevented by the blockade. Like, this is not just about this. This is about our whole way of life and what the truth is and how the blockade prevents the truth of Monsanto and things like that from entering the greater conversation because of shenanigans by these creatures.
That's right. Congratulations, Ben Davis Jr. I'm a step grandpa, a 6-pound, 11-ounce baby girl. Wow, the wife never told me.
We're multiplying.
That's awesome. That is awesome, guys. We're multiplying. Patriots multiply. Now, I also, the key word knowingly too, and this is interesting too because the fake news knowingly false narrative pushes. So remember when Q posted all the reporters, they've knowingly done the same thing as well. So this is just being set up for an amazing. There's all the Q posts right there with.
I think the ones that did it knowingly might be the same ones that are still saying there was Russian collusion.
No collusion. No collusion.
So if whichever media outlet is saying that there's still obstruction and collusion, I'm pretty sure that they obstructed and colluded with the previous administration. They're admitting it right in front of you.
That's right. When we see the FISA, to declass the FISA, the OIG, the indictments start to come out. Look at all the resignations of CEOs. Look at all the resignations of senators and Congress, terminations of senior FBI and DOJ. This is Watergate times 1,000, guys. And you know what? The attacks will only intensify on POTUS, on Q, on you. But we have logical thinking. We have logical thinking. Ask yourself a simple question, Shady. Why? Because we're over the target, man.
Why? Yeah, I mean that is right. Why? Why is it so important? And why would the old guard be so nervous if we weren't being accurate in our assessment as the greater Q community, working in tandem with the president and working in tandem with our Constitution? Right. That is what our power comes from. It comes from our Constitution. It doesn't come from the air. It comes from the Constitution. We, the people, the document that's sacred, right, that protects us, that gives us the right to protect ourselves. Listen, you can say whatever you want, but the police and people in the world, the police that are there are not there to, quote, protect you. Okay. The police are there to investigate what happened and take notes and write it down, and hopefully a lawsuit can be set up. But the truth is the truth is the truth. And the Constitution, the spirit of the Constitution is your responsibility to protect yourself. And if you have the right to bear arms, that is possible. If you do not, it isn't. It's really, really, really simple. And that is the reason the Second Amendment is number 2. It protects all of them.
That's right. And nothing. And I want to, so we've also looked at, we had a mosque attacked in New Zealand. We had a church attacked, a Christian church in Notre Dame in France. Are they knowingly, is this their last resort? We've got to be very careful. We've got pretty much the Zero Hedge article, How to Prepare for a Nuclear Disaster, which is kind of creepy. Special hat tip to SD Cali on that. I'm not a fearmonger or anything, because I do think Patriots are in control. But do I put it past them? No. Reason why I say that is, these have been debunked and not been debunked, but we've got Albert Pike here, who's, Supreme Council Master Mason, and he basically, this letter to Mazzini in 1871 outlined the 3 world wars, right? It talked about how the First World War must be brought in order to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the power of the czars in Russia and making that country a fortress of atheistic communism. The divergences caused by the agentur, agents of the Illuminati, between the British and Germanic empires will be used to foment this war. At the end of that war, communism will be built and used in order to destroy the life with other governments and in order to weaken religions. The Second World War must be fomented by taking full advantage of the differences between the fascists and the political Zionists. This war must be brought out so that Nazism is destroyed and that the political Zionism be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel in Palestine. During the Second World War, international communism will become strong enough in order to balance Christendom, which would then be restrained and held in check until the time we would need it for the final social cataclysm. Now, this is the Third World War. The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantages of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists of the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam and the political Zionism mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economic exhaustion. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists. And we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm, which in all of its horror will clearly show to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and the most bloody of turmoil. Then everywhere, the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilizations, and the multitude, delusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, finally brought out into public view. This manifestation will result in the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. Now, this is Albert Pike's letter. It's 3 World Wars, written in 1871. Now, Albert Pike is not just some, schmo. He wrote Morals and Dogma. He has a statue in Washington, D.C. There he is right there. There's Albert Pike in Washington, D.C. He was a brigadier general, Albert Pike. He is founder of the KKK. He is... He's definitely somebody that these people adore, right? The Masonry movement. He's the supreme council head of the Masonry of our part of the world, right? And I've got my Morals and Dogma book.
The definition of a racist.
Yeah, and it's a definition. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so after he was a soldier in the Civil War, this statue will commemorate him rather than a victor of honorable rivalries of peace. It will let you add compulsory small number of statues in Washington to honor the victories of peace rather than war. These people adore this guy, and I thought, and I've come across that letter before. I've seen people say, "Oh, it's been debunked," all that, but wow, if that was written in 1871, here's the Daily Mail. Talking about this letter, if it was written in 1971, it clearly and accurately describes the first 2 world wars and is accurately describing what's happening now. It says the third global war will be between Islamic leaders and the West. And that's exactly what's happening. So if this is a letter from 1871, OMG, if you will, but otherwise they are following this this whole thing, the whole thing. Shady, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are this.
Let's do it.
We have a definition problem in America, guys, and we're getting ready to get in the definition of problem for just a minute here with what he's talking about there, bringing up the history and what it is you're seeing now, looking back and understanding on what the deep state is and how they control us and how they manipulate and how they move people around with war, and then how they stand around and virtue signal whenever you start calling them out and pretend like you're hateful and bigoted and all of these different things because you try to talk about history and who the people were, and you try to identify them, and you use an adjective or you use a word or whatever it may be to describe it. And then all of a sudden you get attacked because you're using that word, because you're talking about information that's actually out there. So what we need to do is we need to correct our definition problem. And we're running around here with all these different definitions, and we say these things like we say, oh, these socialists. And then, we talk about, communism, and we talk about, Nazism, and we talk about, all of these different aspects of law and ways to rule. And let me tell you right now, what you have witnessed for the last 140 years is the absolute intentional destruction of humanity. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of human souls have been obliterated, more than ever on earth in the last 100 years, under the title of socialism or communism or whatever you want to call it. But whenever we talk about how this structure works and what this structure is, it is no more hidden than the elite banking structure, the elite banking system that runs the world in an interest-based debt. If you read further into what was contained in Pike's writings, were an exact replica of what we've witnessed for the last 100 years. And what you're seeing right now is a pushback against the final plan and the final straw A quote from Gary Allen: "None dare call it conspiracy. If you wanted to control the nation's manufacturing, commerce, finance, transportation, and natural resources, you would need only to control the apex, the power pinnacle of an all-powerful socialist government. Then you would have a monopoly and could squeeze out all your competitors. If you wanted a national monopoly, you must control a national socialist government. If you want a worldwide monopoly, you must control a world socialist government." This is what the game is all about. Communism is not a movement of the downtrodden masses, but is a movement created, manipulated, and used by power-seeking billionaires in order to gain control over the world. This is the definition of socialism, the same as it's the definition of communism. There is 0.0 difference in the two. I don't care what anybody that has a degree from whatever school you want to tell me they went to tell me that my political viewpoint is wrong. No, you are wrong. I have studied our system going back to 1776, and to the people who stood up against the communists then and created the only free country that has ever existed in the history of mankind that can be pointed to in our record books, where people were able to gain and accrue and keep their wealth. That is what we are on this wall fighting for. Yeah. I don't care if it's Bernie Sanders. I don't care if it's Cortez or whoever this person is in your kid's political science professor, whoever they are. They make it look like socialism is some sort of attractive thing. It is a Luciferian cabal to control planet Earth. Yeah. Period. End of story. It isn't connected to any faith that you would recognize. Once you see the in-depth, disgusting middle of what is actually controlling planet Earth and what is actually running the money system out there, your mouth is going to hang open in awe to understand the depravity and the depth of the cabal. This is not about an argument between capitalism and socialism. Socialism has been implemented onto you, and now is you making people in the system point to socialism structure around you, which is the control of all our money, the control of free markets, the control of the price of gold, the control of the supply markets, the control of sugar, the control of meat, all of this control that's on the free market. That should not exist, guys. That is the swamp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plain and simple.
And Shady, I want to point to 2646 for you as well, because do you notice the similarities? D's attempt to turn the public against our police, ICE, and those who continually serve the public interest protect. But I want to go back down here. A war against globalism. A war to retain sovereignty. Divide those police safeguards against the people who are sworn to protect chaos. Make the people fight themselves versus original targets, old guard. Fake news push of racism, fascism, sexism, and every other ism, etc., against those seeking an end to globalism in favor of nationalism, pride of heritage and culture, preservation and security and safety is designed to keep you submissive. Why do D's deploy and use racism as their go-to tactic when an argument or narrative cannot be factually substantiated? POTUS and the black community regarding candidacy? POTUS and the black community post candidacy reconcile. They want you divided, controlled, submissive sheep. Posse comitatus act. So Shady, I thought that was kind of a good Q post. I also kind of want to wrap it with this one. This is Q post 2494. All the stuff that we've been talking about today. This is the DOJ's link to the DOJ's probe against Clinton Foundation, D5, DEC5, D5. Nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing. This election was not about fixing the economy, trade, borders, military, protecting our children, etc. Also, another corrupt politician or insider can simply undo it. Band-Aid. This is not simply another 4-year election, but a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. Panic in D.C., Q, and let's take a listen, Shady. Ready?
Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another 4-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trade deals, massive illegal immigration, and economic and foreign policies that have bled our country dry. The political establishment has brought about the destruction of our factories and our jobs as they flee to Mexico, China, and other countries all around the world. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, but are in fact controlled by a small handful of global special interests rigging the system, and our system is rigged. This is reality. You know it, they know it, I know it, and pretty much the whole world knows it. The Clinton machine is at the center of this power structure. We've seen this firsthand in the WikiLeaks documents, in which Hillary Clinton meets in secret with international banks to plot the destruction of U.S. sovereignty in order to enrich these global financial powers, her special interest friends, and her donors. Honestly, she should be locked up. The most powerful weapon deployed by the Clintons is the corporate media, the press. Let's be clear on one thing. The corporate media in our country is no longer involved in journalism. They're a political special interest, no different than any lobbyist or other financial entity with a total political agenda, and the agenda is not for you, it's for themselves. Anyone who challenges their control is deemed a sexist, a racist, a xenophobe. They will lie, and then again, they will do worse than that. They will do whatever's necessary. The Clintons are criminals, remember that. This is well documented, and the establishment that protects them has engaged in a massive cover-up of widespread criminal activity at the State Department and the Clinton Foundation in order to keep the Clintons in power. They knew they would throw every lie they could at me and my family and my loved ones. They knew they would stop at nothing to try to stop me. Nevertheless, I take all of these slings and arrows gladly for you. I take them for our movement so that we can have our country back. I knew this day would arrive. It's only a question of when. And I knew the American people would rise above it and vote for the future they deserve. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us. The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. Our great civilization has come upon a moment of reckoning. I didn't need to do this, folks, believe me. I built a great company, and I had a wonderful life. I could have enjoyed the fruits and benefits of years of successful business deals and businesses for myself and my family. Instead of going through this absolute horror show of lies, deceptions, malicious attacks, who would have thought? I'm doing it because this country has given me so much, and I feel so strongly that it's my turn to give back to the country that I love. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.
Amen. That's my president right there. That's my president, Shady. That's him right there.
That's the man that I'm following.
Yes, sir.
And I'm listening to that message because it is 100% real.
Yeah. And it's happening. We're seeing it happen. Real quick, Shady, I want the dirty truth. This is Sarah Carter last night into Hillary Clinton. Let's take a listen.
Important. She obviously believes in something, which is a two-tiered justice system, one in which Hillary Clinton feels she can get away with everything with obstruction. Just as you said, I mean, under the law, obstruction is, tampering with witnesses, destroying evidence. I mean, this is everything that she did under the law. And then she turns and she throws it at President Trump saying, oh, well, he could have been indicted if he wasn't a sitting president. Here's someone who feels that they are above the law, and this is someone that is going to be investigated, and all the people that supported her are going to be investigated as well. If Attorney General William Barr does his job and Michael Horowitz does his job, people will be indicted. And it won't be President Trump.
It is going to be an avalanche. And people say, well,
avalanche.
When? Stay tuned. Just relax. Expect in May a lot of things to happen.
A lot of things are going to happen in May. So April showers, avalanche, Sean Hannity. I love it. What do you think about that, Shady? Wasn't that interesting?
I really think that this is Patriots, and this is information, and this is real. The whole operation to wake the world up to the cabal is working, and I want to say thanks to everyone out there who has helped in this endeavor.
Absolutely, and let's listen to Carly Bond recorded this today of our president. Kind of hard to hear.
These aren't like impartial people. The Democrats are trying to win 2020. They're not going to win.
They're not going to win.
With the people that I see.
With the people I see.
And they're not going to win against me. The only way they can maybe luck out, and I don't think that's going to happen. It might make it even the opposite. That's what a lot of people are saying. The only way they can luck out is by constantly going after me on nonsense. But they should be really focused on legislation, not the things that have been, this has been litigated, just so you understand. This has been litigated for the last 2 years, almost since I got into office. Now, if you want to litigate, go after the DNC, Crooked Hillary, the dirty cop, all of these things. That's what should be litigated, because that was a rigged system. And I am breaking down the swamp. If you look at what's happening,
breaking down the swamp.
They're getting fired. Who knows what's going to happen from now on? But I hope it's very strong. But if you look at drain the swamp, I am draining the swamp. Thank you.
Boom. That is my president right there, Shady. Carly, thank you for that clip. It sounded like there was a helicopter in the background, but wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right, so I got one more thing that I want to do, and it's from our friend Severe, Red Pill Music. This is the real Severe Anon. Let's just take a listen to this. I support him 110%. It's a stream of consciousness by the real Severe.
Mixed production.
They wanna take us all down with the Civil War, a new iteration of what they did before. Double down on rhetoric, deliver more. Make the people question what they're living for. But now I'm living life with a greater purpose, and make my words twist deep beneath the surface. Red pilling normies till I make the earth shift. Flamethrower spitting fire, I'm a wordsmith. Let's take it deep down to the brass tacks. People use feelings, not logic, cause they lack facts. Scoring points on Twitter with the clapback bully tactics. But try me and I'll slap back. I don't play games, I spray flames lyrically. I maintain the take game with imagery. Too original for any y'all to mimic me. Too far outside of the box to limit me. Not only do they try to mimic me, but riddle me. This is knowingly and willingly evacuate from my vicinity. I have a deeper conscience that spans all across the infinities. And I have an affinity for utilizing my abilities to wake the youth through the court of the auxiliary. Wake up from the nightmares of the Obamas and Hillary. I kinda went off for a minute, but that's the mind of an artist with all these thoughts that stay trapped in it, when it's well beyond the limit of what is meant to fit in it. That's the beat talking, I'm just speaking back. The convo between man and machine, how deep is that? The recorded conversation equals deeper rap. I love this art form too much to leave it flat. An art form to wake the masses and break the indoctrination that's taught in classes. It's like thinking that your vision is perfect until you put on a pair of glasses. This intellect that passes from my brain to the microphone is a classic form of communication, and it's the fastest, directly to the point without being graphic. But let me get back to the topic. Is there a topic, or am I just rocking, vibing, elevating, raising my conscience? Not being arrogant or obnoxious, but the talent is evident from the responses. Opportunity is free for anyone that wants it. The musical renaissance is more important than you think because it resonates with the subconscious. I love the support from all my fans, a community of patriots that trust the plan. Me, I'm nothing special, I'm just a man trying to live life right and do the best I can. But I appreciate the realness and I appreciate the feeling I get when y'all feel this. It's good to have support when the pressures of life are just too much to deal with, but you got people to heal with. Now tell me that ain't the realest. I've always had the gift for too long, I concealed it, until a greater calling asked me to reveal it. It's like Pandora's box when I sealed it, cause you can't put the genie back in the bottle. Eyes open, be careful who you follow. The biggest red pills are the most important, but keep in mind they're the hardest to swallow. And we're not promised tomorrow. Time is too short for gestures that are hollow. Sometimes I need to borrow positive light just to make my way through the sorrow. My bad, y'all, I'm just being real, saying what's on my mind and what I feel. Only scratching the surface of what's concealed. Stay tuned, in due time, it'll be revealed.
That's The Real Severe with Stream of Consciousness. Amazing, 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 guys. You know, that song really hit me last night. He released it last night, and I am a big supporter of Severe Anon. You know, I saw some of the comments. I like rap, but when they have meaningful words. I have not liked rap song, but I like this song. No, love this song. Wordsmith, no doubt. Real Severe, you've got a lot of fans, and you know, sometimes
and a lot of talent,
and you know, I'm healing with you guys too. This has been an amazing journey. You know, there's been a lot that happened to me. There's been a lot of attacks with me. They're going after Shady. They're going after you guys. They're going after all of us. But here we are together. We are going to put on the armor of God. And just one more time, this episode of the Matrixxx Groove Hour is sponsored by the Patriot Flashlight. Please help them, help us, if you will. Enter code ITM20 at checkout, and you know, let them know that intheMatrixxx and the Matrixxx Groove Hour went ahead and you know, sent you. Shady, with that, I see Trinity. Oh my gosh, she's got the phone, my brother.
She's got the phone,
yes.
And I've one last message for you guys here. This is for everyone out there. There is no difference between communism and socialism, except in the means of achieving the same ultimate end. Communism proposes to enslave men by force. Socialism by vote. It is merely the difference between murder and suicide. Okay. And then one last thing. 7 things every kid needs to hear. I love you. I am proud of you. I am sorry. I forgive you. I'm listening. Communism has failed every time it was tried, and you've got what it takes. And with that, Matrixxx, I appreciate everyone out there joining us today and coming around to this conversation and being part of this conversation and supporting your president. Be proud, be loud, be heard, and stand up for America, stand up for freedom, stand up for what is right and what you know is right. Much love out there, Matrixxx. I am getting ready to squeeze down into the tiniest little particle and jump through this phone, guys.
We're going to do
so much love out there, Matrixxx. Thanks everyone. Thanks for everything, and we will be back here tomorrow.
Yeah, guys, thank you very much, Shady. Those were amazing. I'm going to give my kiddos a hug as soon as they get out of here, and you guys too. This is not about people, attacking the president, attacking QAnon followers and the like. I'm just me, and I love my country, and I love our president. And guys, with that, we will see you tomorrow. intheMatrixxx with 3 X's, at Shady Grooove with 3 O's on Twitter, intheMatrixxx.com with 3 X's, intheMatrixxx.com/Q posts. Hey, if you haven't seen our Patreon or PayPal down below in this video, if you want to donate, donation is a freedom. All information is free, no matter what you hear. Guys, thank you very much. Much love to you guys. See you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. Peace.